At 32, Ethan Caldwell had it all: money, power, a mansion overlooking the Hudson, and a woman who could make even the grandest of rooms feel like a warm, private world just for two. She wasn't just beautiful. She was his anchor in the middle of a storm, the genuine laughter that chased away the heaviness of his high-stakes life. Their mornings began with coffee and those easy, rambling conversations where they didn't even have to finish their sentences to be understood. Their evenings were spent in comfortable silence or long walks along the river, the city lights dancing in her eyes like a promise. Even in the busiest boardrooms or the loudest parties, he felt a magnetic pull toward her, constantly thinking of her smile, the comforting weight of her hand in his, and the way she knew the real him, the parts he kept hidden from everyone else. To the outside world, Ethan's life looked flawless, but it was in these quiet, heartbeat moments of pure connection that he felt truly alive, truly complete, and finally at peace. A lot of people thought his life was perfect, but when the lights were off and the city fell quiet, one question echoed in his mind, again and again. If he lost it all, would she still stay? That doubt didn't fade. It grew, and soon, it pushed Ethan toward a lie so dangerous, so carefully planned, that it would destroy the woman he loved and reveal the only love that was ever real. Ethan Caldwell had mastered every system in life except love. At 32, he was one of the youngest self-made millionaires in New York City. His tech company had gone from a garage startup to a global powerhouse in less than a decade. Business magazines called him brilliant. Investors called him fearless. Society called him lucky. But luck had nothing to do with what kept him awake at night. From the terrace of his glass-walled mansion overlooking the Hudson River, Ethan often watched the city glow beneath him. The view was stunning, yet empty, and lately, the silence had felt louder than success. Victoria Lane was supposed to be the answer. She was elegance wrapped in perfection, a high-fashion model with magazine covers to her name, flawless skin, and a smile that cameras loved. Together, they were New York's favorite couple. Charity galas, fashion weeks, red carpets, power dinners. To the world, they were untouchable. But behind closed doors, something felt wrong. Victoria loved the lifestyle, the private jets, the designer closets, the attention, but Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that when she said, "I love you," she was talking to his bank account, not his heart. The doubt grew quietly. When Ethan caught a bad flu and had to skip a major charity gala, Victoria went without him. She sent a text hours later, not to ask how he was feeling, but to say the photographers loved her dress. When he canceled a weekend trip because of exhaustion, she rolled her eyes and said, "You work too much. You're becoming boring." Still, Ethan said nothing. He told himself he was overthinking, until the question began to haunt him. If I lost everything, would she still stay? That question pushed him toward a decision he would later call the most reckless and revealing choice of his life. One morning, Ethan told Victoria there had been an accident, a serious one. He said his car had been hit while returning from a late meeting. Doctors feared spinal damage. The prognosis was unclear. Best case, months in a wheelchair. Worst case, he might never walk again. Victoria's reaction was dramatic. She cried loudly at the hospital. She clung to his hand. She told everyone she was devastated. She posted emotional messages online about strength and loyalty. For a moment, Ethan felt ashamed of his doubt. But the performance didn't last. Within days, impatience crept in. She sighed when he dropped things, complained when nurses took too long, asked the staff to help him instead of doing it herself. "I can't stand seeing you like this," she said once, not with compassion, but irritation. Her visits grew shorter. Her phone stayed in her hand longer. One night, unable to sleep, Ethan overheard her on the phone in the hallway. "It's unbearable," she whispered. "I didn't sign up for this. A man like him, stuck in a wheelchair? I can't live like this forever." Ethan stared at the ceiling, his chest tight. The truth was finally showing. Someone else noticed too. Lily Moore. She was new, a housekeeper hired through an agency. She was quiet and always plainly dressed. She was from a small rural town in Pennsylvania. No designer bags, no polished accent. Yet she moved through the house with a calm presence. When Victoria forgot Ethan's medication, Lily remembered. When his blanket slipped, she fixed it gently. When he struggled to reach something, she helped, without making him feel helpless. She never stared, never pitted, never asked questions. Weeks passed. Victoria began canceling plans, then skipping days, then staying out late. At a friend's birthday party, she insisted Ethan attend, saying it would be good for his image. Once there, she parked him near a wall and disappeared. Laughter echoed from the terrace. "Look at him now," Victoria joked to a group of friends. A shadow of who he used to be. The words hit harder than the accident ever could. Ethan lowered his gaze, gripping the wheels of the chair. Behind him, a hand rested gently on the backrest. It was Lily. She didn't say a word. She simply stood there, looking steady and protective. In that moment, something inside Ethan broke open. The next morning, Ethan made his decision. He told her to meet him outside. She barely looked up from her phone. "I have brunch in 20 minutes, she said. "I have something important to show you," Ethan said. She sighed. When she followed him outside, Ethan looked at her face. Then, slowly, Ethan stood up. Victoria froze. Her phone slipped from her hand. "You're walking." "I was never paralyzed," Ethan said quietly. "I needed to know if you truly loved me, or what I provide." Her shock turned to fury. "You lied to me," she snapped. "That's sick." "So is pretending to love someone while waiting for a better option," he replied. "I can't believe that you did this to me," she responded. Silence filled the room. Within an hour, Victoria was gone. Ethan didn't feel victorious. He felt emptied. Later that morning, Lily stood in the doorway holding his breakfast tray. Her eyes widened. "So, it was true," she said softly. "I guess you figured it out," he replied. She nodded. "I suspected. Sometimes your legs moved when you thought no one was watching. Why didn't you say anything?" She shrugged. "Because you were hurting. That mattered more than the truth." Something shifted. Life slowed down after that. No events. No cameras. No noise. Ethan spent time in the garden. He cooked badly. He laughed more. Lily talked about her dreams, design school, independence, building something of her own. He listened. One morning, he burned the toast. She laughed, not politely, but genuinely. The sound filled the kitchen. That was when Ethan realized what he had been missing all along. Months later, as the sun rose over the Hudson, Ethan stood beside Lily in the garden. "You taught me something," he said. "Love isn't proven through tests or money. It's shown through presence." She smiled softly. For the first time in his life, Ethan Caldwell didn't feel rich because of what he owned, but because of who stood beside him. Lessons. Real love doesn't show up when life is perfect. It shows up when everything falls apart. Money attracts people. Character keeps them. Sometimes, you have to lose the wrong person to finally find the right one.